What is up, guys? I'm going straight voice today. No music. Still on my cell phone, but you guys are getting it. This is Tony Horton, and this is Showtime Motivational Talk Radio. All right. So I'm going off like the top of my head, and it actually has something to do with the next part of the series that we're doing from Mark Sanchez or Nick Ruiz. Nick Ruiz. Relationships, man. So I think since August has started, up until an hour ago, the thing that has most been talked about in my life, expressed in my life, and the people in the lives of the people around me, documented, postponed or started or finished, disciplined, boundaries wrapped around or boundaries taken away from, are relationships and loyalty. So I had a very, very special experience the last weekend of July. I think I spoke about it that Monday when I went away for an event that my fiance and I go to, 4 different quarterly events, spiritual, mental, entrepreneurial, so that we can grow in our pillars, which are our financial pillar, our spiritual pillar, our relationship pillar, and our health pillar. Those are our 4 pillars that kind of hold this house up. And after that function, it was just, and like a week or 2 or 3 before, it was just relationships and loyalty was just beating. It was just all around the place. Everywhere I went, everything I spoke about with friends and family. We're planning our wedding, and we're paying for our wedding, and people are getting married. I think it's like 10, 11 weddings that we know about, and 2 that I'm in, not including my own, and just weddings that we're going to or plan on going to or that we've been invited with, and just relationships have been just, that theme has been showing its face for at least 8 weeks. And now it's starting to come to a head. So I want to talk about, building positive relationships, coach and mentor relationships, and mentor and mentee relationships, and just relationships in general, like what I've been experiencing and learning. An unaccountable man is a failure, and an unsuccessful man. When I say man, I mean human. If you're not accountable to somebody on your life, then you're probably, you remember the cartoon? I think it was Warner Brothers with the 3 blind mice. There's the blind leading the blind, and they always walked into trouble. They were always in danger. I'm not talking about whether or not they got out of danger or they got eaten, but they were always in danger. Something wrong was always happening. And when you try to live your life or move forward in life based on the failures that you have in the past without the proper guidance in your life, you always seem to bump your head against the same wall. It always seems to be the same issue. Now, whether they were walking off of a cliff, these three blind mice, or walking into a mousetrap, or walking into water, or walking into traffic, or just walking into something they shouldn't have been in. They were just trying to get to the other side, so to speak, and they just kept walking into danger. And it's kind of equivalent to how a lot of us, and I say us because I've lived like this and I'm not perfect. I strive to be excellent every day. I'm not perfect, but I still do dumb things sometimes. A lot of us try to use our mindset and our knowledge and our skills and our experience that we've gotten to this point without guidance and try to get to the next level in life a place that we've never been to, that we've always wanted to go, and we're not using the proper guidance. And we think that we got it, and we keep banging our head against this proverbial wall, expecting something different to happen, which is the definition of insanity. Nothing new is going to come out of using old tricks. You're doing the same old things you did 10 years ago. You're not going to create something new out of it. Right? So the only way to change and to grow in personal relationships or business relationships or work relationships or romantic relationships or platonic relationships or mentor, mentee, coach, and player is to allow the person that has the greatest amount of success in the area that you want to get to, the area that you want to be in, to succeed in, is to be accountable to them, is to have some type of submission to that person or those individuals. Because you can leverage other people's life experiences and compact your own. You can compact decades into months or years based on learning from someone else's experiences. That's why creating relationships is an important key to success. Why? Well, I'm encouraging you just to establish and mature a real relationship, right? Because having a big fat Rolodex of hundreds of people that you know on your phone is worthless if the person you want to connect with is someone you haven't spoken to or communicated with in more than a year. It's totally unrealistic to think that you can just get in contact with people to leverage your relationship if you haven't communicated with them. So if you're unaccountable to this person, well, if it's your grandma and you want to borrow money from grandma, how you going to call her out of the blue like, grandma, yo, I need $100, and you haven't even spoken to her in a minute? Okay, you can say grandma, you can say mom, you can say dad, you can say best friend. I had a guy, and I was on my way to Joel Osteen's convention in Barclays, and it's this kid that I worked with. Never had a relationship with him outside of work, but we've known each other at work, right? And I like to say that I'm the guy I would do anything for anybody. But this just got under my skin for a quick minute, and then my fiance checked me, and then Jesus checked me, and I got my life together. But he just texted me out of the blue. No, he didn't text me. He sent me a request, on Square Cash for $40. And I was like, what? Like, why did he send me a request on Square Cash for $40? I wonder what's going on in his life. Like, what's up? So I texted him. I was like, dude, number one, we really don't even have a relationship outside of work. Number two, if you want to borrow something like money from somebody, don't send them a request on an app. Call them on the phone or meet up with them in person. Show them your sincerity and the severity of the situation, and then lay your request out there. So if I was offended, I was in my feelings about it. But my fiance checked me, Jesus checked me, and I got my life together. And I sent him the money because it was just the right thing to do. I didn't expect to get it back. But like you can't leverage a relationship without being accountable or in communication with somebody. You know what I'm saying? Creating a bunch of relationships is worthless if you don't put a long-term nurturing work habit towards it. Nurturing is 90% of relationship equation, right? A healthy relationship is a give and take relationship, right? You don't want to be one of the bloodsuckers like I used to be that just take away from relationships. It's a give, take. That's a real relationship. I used to be the type of guy, and I'm not proud of it. I'm not saying it to celebrate it. And I was like this with the majority of my friends, I think. So hats off to my friends that are still friends with me. But I was like, if you were a friend of mine, you were only a friend of mine that I needed for a certain thing. Like, I only want to play video games with this friend. I only want to go out drinking with this friend. I only want to drive like race cars with this friend. I only want to go, to California with this friend. I only want to do this with this friend. They were surface level relationships because they were based off of my needs, not the need of the friendship. And I'm still growing. I'm not perfect. I do want to be excellent. So I do look to grow in just about every area of my life. But I was a blood sucking friend. I wanted to use you for what I wanted. That was it. Right. Eric Ruiz says, don't look for reciprocation every time you connect with somebody. That comes the more you give. So, like, a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this too. Every time I did something for someone, I expected something back. Like, all right, so I helped this dude with his flat tire, so, like, I'm going to get a blessing. I pulled over the side of the road. I helped these people that got in an accident. I made sure everybody was calm, blah, blah, blah. I know I got a blessing coming. I'm going to get a blessing, right? Oh, I helped this old lady across the street, and I slipped $20 in her pocket. I'm going to get a blessing. I'm going to get a blessing. You have to give without the expectation of receiving. You don't give and expect to receive something back. That's not a genuine person. That's disingenuous. That's what that is. So, like, and I'm saying all this to bring you guys into the experiences that I've been having these past couple of weeks. Okay. If the relationship cup is empty, then it won't last through. It won't be a productive relationship. As long as you keep pouring in, it will stay full. And both of you will be able to enjoy the connection and the fulfillment. It may seem sometimes uneven, but in the long run, both of you are in a win-win, nurturing, caring, and or loving relationship, right? Because of some of the experiences I've been experiencing and it's not me personally, but relationships that have been used up over time because of someone that was either unwilling to change from the get-go and just expressed that they did want to change, and the counterpart gave amount of time and didn't receive any reciprocation, or one half of the situation was incapable of doing the things that they suggested to get in this relationship. All right. So one was a business relationship where half of the relationship was disingenuous and dishonest and not communicating and not accountable, and it fell apart. And I'm in the business of solution seeking, so I like to instead of quitting, I feel like if you find a solution that's beneficial to both parties, then we can reconcile, continue, and move forward, right? It's our human brain and our human mind and our emotions that don't allow us to not be guilty, not feel guilty, and to not feel the feeling of resentment. It's our human minds that do that. So a lot of times I myself have to tell myself, like, Tone, this is not a movie, dude. So just because you think bad or you don't like or you resent doesn't mean something's going to happen to them in reciprocation to what happened to you, because, it's not a perfect world. Like, stuff doesn't happen like that. People go through things, and it's personal. So everything that happens, even in a group or relationship, is because of something personal that happened with one half of that friend or that relationship. And the more you learn and the more you pour into that relationship, the more you get out of it. The more you hold back and you don't put in what you said you would to get out of a relationship which is supposed to blossom out of a relationship, then the more relationships you kill, or you devastate people, or you hurt people, right? If I can borrow a lifetime of knowledge and wisdom from somebody who's in their 70s, I can't even explain to you how valuable that would be, right? So I and my fiance, we surround ourselves with people that have a lifetime of experience through themselves and through others that have more experience than them. We surround ourselves with people that have a lifetime of experience in their financial pillar, health wise, mentally and spiritually. Why? Because those are the areas in our life that keep us